Hello, I'm Graham Horton and welcome to today's video. Now today I've got another product review for you, and it's for the NEEWER CM28 Pro wireless lavalier microphone. It's not a new microphone, it's been around for a while, but the Pro version does have some extra features over the original CM28 mic. So in this video I want to show you the new features and put it through its paces just to see how it performs according to its specifications. Full disclosure, I was provided this microphone to review for you by NEEWER, but as usual it's a fully independent review and I will give you my own honest opinion as to how this microphone performs against the specifications, and if there are any issues I find with it, you'll get to hear in this video. I've not been told what to say or what I can't say. They just ask for my honest opinion as to how the microphone performs. So this is the device. You can see it on my desktop here. Nice presentation box. Let's unbox it and I'll show you all the features you get with this new particular microphone. So magnetic catch on the cover. We get a instruction manual which gives you enough information to get you started, but you can download a further manual from the NEEWER website and it gives you full more details as to how this thing operates. We've got a compartment here, and inside we do have the box, which is in fact a charging station for the microphones, which are 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. So the actual box itself contains a lithium-ion battery with enough charge to charge the devices a couple of times over from a full charge. Let's just close that up for a moment and have a look at the accessories you get with this product. So you see inside you do get this soft padded pouch, and inside are some accessories, and you can see those on the desktop here. We've got a variety of cables, so unlike the original CM28 which had adapters, we're now getting proper cables to connect between the receiver and smartphone. So we've got the old type Lightning, we've got the new type of Type C for Android and the later iPhone. So we've got the connection cable. We've got a USB-C to USB-A, so we can connect the receiver to a laptop to transfer the data. We've got a charging cable which is USB-C and USB-A, so this is for charging the box. We've got a TRS to TRS 3.5mm cable here, and that's for connecting the receiver to a camera, to mirrorless or DSLR. And we also get 2 wind muffs which attach to the top of the transmitters if you're in a windy environment. So we get a full range of accessories here. If we have a look at the receiver box, on the back we can see our Type C charging port, which is there so we can charge the internal lithium-ion battery. On the front is a group of LEDs which tells us the status of the battery when it's being charged. Plastic case, hinged to allow you access to the internal. It's the old case which still has the supports for the adapters for the CM28, so we've used the same box. So inside we've got the 2 transmitters and the receiver, and you can see on the case the current state of charge of the lithium-ion battery in there, which is 100%. So having looked over the transmitter, you can see on the left hand side of the transmitter we've got our Type C port, which is for charging if you want to use a charging cable, but it's also used as the data port to transmit the data that's been stored on the internal 4GB memory if you're using this as a recording device. So backup audio if you're using this in a wireless environment, or as a standalone audio recorder if you wanted to use this just as a sort of standalone recorder. On the other side we got a button which is marked power and mute, so it's a multifunction button. Press and hold for 2 seconds turns the device on. A quick press will put the microphone into mute mode. The set button allows us access to turning on noise cancellation. On the bottom of the device you'll see the 2 pins to allow charging when this is inside the box. On the back we've got a clip which can clip to your belt, clothing or whatever, and we're also provided with a magnet to attach this to your clothing discreetly if you don't like the idea of a large device being on the talent. On the top we've got an omnidirectional microphone plus a 3.5mm jack socket which will take a lavalier microphone or the wired device. You can also fit these wind muffs if you're going to use it in a noisy environment, and again they will just plug into the hole at the top of the microphone and they're quite secure. They won't fall off, so even in the heaviest debris or knocking around you're not going to lose that. And again, just pull out. With the two microphones, obviously you can mic up two people to give you a two-person interview. With independent left and right channels, you can adjust the gain on either in post-production if you've got one talent which is speaking louder than the other. So we've seen the transmitter. Let's have a quick look at the receiver. On the left-hand side, we've got a 3.5mm port which supports headphones, so you can actually monitor your audio. We've got the power on-off button. Press 2 seconds to bring it on. We've got a set button which allows access to being able to set the microphone gain independently for each channel. On the other side we've got a 3.5mm line output port, so that can be used with the adapters for your smartphone or the TRS to TRS for your camera. Here we've got another Type-C port for charging or for firmware upgrades. And again on the base we've got the two charging pins for charging this in the battery box, and again a clip which is the right size to fit onto the hot shoe of your camera, so you can mount this on a camera if you wanted to. On the display you can see we've got the indications for channel 1, the battery level in channel 1 or the battery level in channel 2, and the Wi-Fi status for each of those transmitters, so you can see both are connected. We've got a microphone gain control, so we can change the output gain of the device. It goes in 5 stages, and I found between 3 and 4 gives me good reception without overloading. Remember, this is a 16-bit device, 48 kHz, so it's the OCD format. So it's better to try and keep the audio as high as possible, just short of clipping, so you're not having to boost the signal in post-production. Bit like using your camera with the exposure to the right. If you keep your exposure to the right, you're bringing in all the detail from the shadows to the highlights without clipping. If you've got a very low histogram with all the data down to the shadow end, if you try and boost that up, you obviously boost the noise floor as well. So it's better to keep this just short of clipping with the volume of the output here using that dB adjustment. You can set this to be mono, so both stereo tracks are combined onto one mono track, or you can combine the stereo into one stereo track, or you can use this as a mono with a safety track which is 6 dB less than the main track. So you've got 3 options for the output. Okay, we've seen the specification. Let's now hear it in actuality. At the moment I'm recording the audio using another of the NEEWER products. It's the KM18 microphone, and I reviewed this a couple of months ago on my channel, so if you're happy with the sound of this one, why not check that video review as well, and you can see for yourself what you get with that particular kit. So let me connect this to the iPhone 16 Pro Max and we'll have a look at the audio quality. So we're now recording this using the CM28 Pro into the iPhone 16 Pro Max using the standard camera app. We're using the TRS to USB-C connector, and that is plugged into the iPhone input port. Got the gain set to level 4, which seems to be what's needed with the iPhone 16 Pro with the TRS to USB-C connection. At the moment I'm not using any noise reduction, even though I've got a light here with fan running just to add some background noise, which you can see if we can eliminate using noise cancellation. So this is the type of audio quality you'll get with this microphone. No post-production, no equalization or anything at the moment. So without noise reduction, I think the audio quality is quite sufficient, good enough to use for normal YouTube videos or productions like this without any problems whatsoever. It's been pouring down for the last couple of days, so I've not been able to go outside and test the range, but with all the wireless microphones I've tested, they're normally got up to about 50 meters, even with your back turned to the camera. So the 200 meters that's quoted line of sight is probably a good indication as to how it will work line of sight, but keep within 10 to 20 meters if you want to avoid any audio dropouts due to the fact that the RF has been blocked by your body. I've just now switched in the 75 Hz low cut filter, so that should cut out any sort of lower than 75 Hz noise or 50 Hz mains fluctuations or that sort of low frequency rumbles should have been attenuated with the 75 Hz. We'll increase that now to the 150 Hz and see if that makes any difference. So I've now enabled the 150 Hz low cut filter, so anything less than 150 Hz with a gentle roll off will be suppressed by that filter. So any sort of low rumbles or any sort of harmonics from 50 Hz mains or 60 Hz mains will be attenuated to a degree by this filter. So this is with the 150 Hz low cut filter installed. I'll turn off that filter and then we'll have a look at the inbuilt noise reduction that this microphone system has. I hadn't realized actually that the microphone had been set up for noise reduction mode enabled. The actual microphone I've got just inside my jumper here, so it's just inside there. I don't like the appearance of these large microphones when I'm trying to do a recording, so I would either use a small lavalier microphone or try and hide the transmitter. Seems to work fine on normal clothing, so you should be getting a good audio quality. So this is actually with the noise reduction turned off now, so you're hearing the unbiased audio from this system without low cut filters or without any noise reduction. So if I stop talking for a moment, you might just be able to hear the fan in the background from my light. And I'm looking at my monitor, I can see something like 6 bars of audio level there, so there is some background noise. I'll now switch the noise reduction back on and I'll just check the level. Indication on the screen of about 1 bar, so slight reduction in that background noise. Simultaneously with this recording, I'm actually recording internally to that 4 GB internal memory. So again, it's 48 kilohertz sampling, 16-bit audio, CD audio quality. So you can actually use this as a backup track if you find that you've got RF dropout and obviously you've lost your audio signal. So you can download that from the device into your laptop or PC, so you can import that into your video to replace the track that's got no audio or audio dropout. You can see here that I've taken out the transmitter and just clipped it to my top pocket. I don't like the appearance of these in the video, and you can actually see on here that I've got 2 LEDs. The top one is the power and the bottom one is the status of noise reduction and recording. Whilst it's flashing blue, it means that I've got noise reduction enabled and I'm also recording internally. If I just turn off noise reduction for a moment, that's just a single press of the set button. You can now see we've just got a flashing red LED, which means that we're recording internally, and you can see that. So that could be a distraction if you are miking talent up and you've got that in view. I prefer, as I say, to try and hide that, or if you like, you could just put some black adhesive tape over the LEDs if you found that to be too much of a distraction in your video production. If I turn off the recording, and that's just a long press of the set button, then you can see we've just got the top LED lit, which is in fact the power on button. Just some specifications, although you can read them from the Amazon website that I'll put a link to. The transmitter, it measures 47 by 26 by 13 and weighs 18 grams, and the receiver, it measures 47 by 29 by 14 millimeters and weighs 21 grams, so very light devices. The case itself has its own internal lithium-ion battery, as I mentioned in the introduction. When it's fully charged, it can give you 2 charges, which will take 1.5 hours to charge each of the transmitters and the receiver. In operations, you'll get something like 9 hours from the receiver and round about 8 hours from each transmitter. If you are using the internal recording, that 8 hours might reduce to about 7 hours. So there we are, that is the NEEWER CM28 Pro wireless lavalier microphone, and it's a great upgrade, I guess, from the CM28 with the dongle which you had to plug into the receiver and then plug the receiver into your smartphone. So quite a large lump on the bottom of your camera, especially if you're using your camera on a gimbal. So the fact you've now got a wired connection rather than that little dongle is a better design idea in my opinion. Now you can use an external lavalier microphone, and as a final test to wrap up this test, I'll plug that in and you can hear the quality with an external lavalier. So you can now see that I'm using the wired lavalier microphone plugged into that 3.5mm TRS socket on the transmitter. It means you can put the transmitter on your trouser belt or skirt belt and have a lavalier microphone on your talent and not have that great transmitter showing to the public. So a great way of concealing the fact that you are using a wireless lavalier microphone. So this is the audio quality without noise reduction, directly from an external wired lavalier microphone. You can of course use the magnets to attach it to the clip, so you don't have to clip it onto clothing. You can place it there with the magnet on the inside and the transmitter on the outside, or you could actually reverse that and put the transmitter on the inside and the magnet on the outside, which I'll show you now. So now I've put the transmitter on the inside of my pullover and the magnet is showing on the outside. So you could actually put a piece of white paper on there if you want to try and disguise that a little more, or you could put your own brand logo on there if you like. So one way of hiding the transmitter if you don't want that showing on your video production. Well, that's it for my review of this fantastic little microphone from NEEWER, the CM28 Pro. I'll put links to where you can get this on Amazon in the video description below. So if you want to purchase this, watch out for deals that NEEWER seem to run quite often on this particular product. So until the next video, thanks again for watching, and of course if you're a new viewer and you like the style of my reviews, why not hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon when you'll be advised of when I upload new videos to the channel. Also check out my photographic blog. There's a lot more information on Panasonic Lumix bridge cameras, the Canon EOS M systems, and on electronics for photographers, so you'll find lots more information, and on general photography as well. So until the next video, thanks again for watching. Please do take care. I hope to see you all very, very soon. Goodbye for now.